We are live. What's up? What's up, people? What is up? Own the Chaos Crew. If you are not familiar with me, or if you're just tuning in, your first time ever visiting this channel, welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and I trade over-the-counter stocks. I do this full-time. I completely support myself trading here in the over-the-counter stock market, and I've created a group. It's called WeTradeHQ.com. If you are interested in trading anything, whether it's over-the-counter stocks such as me, big board stocks, futures, options, cryptocurrency, whatever, WeTradeHQ is a place for you. Check the link down in the description below. It's free to join. We have over 2,500 members worldwide, learning and growing and celebrating each other's success every single day of the week. And it's all there for you. It's WeTradeHQ.com. Also, if you're looking to step up your game, there is paid courses and mentorships as well that are available to you at any time. There's no obligation to purchase, but I will tell you that there's been a lot of people that have found success in what we teach. We don't tell you what to buy. We don't tell you how to, we don't handhold, I guess. We give you the information. It's your decision to do with it what you will. But I have to say, as people probably are attesting to right now, that is a great group to be a part of. So welcome, folks. Just had to get that out of the way. And yeah, it's Stock Watch Sunday. So what we do here on Stock Watch Sunday is that I pick out just a number of stocks that I'm watching for the week, and we'll see how they play out. If you follow along with me on Friday, I'll follow up on them for Follow Up Friday, just to kind of see how they did, how they played out. So let's welcome some folks in here. Alan Jakov. Hope I'm not butchering that. Bob, Justin, Josh. Yeah, and the over-the-counter. I don't know why I said that. Over-the-counter stock. Yeah, stock market. I don't know. Sorry. I just like fell out of my mouth. So, yeah. Wild and crazy week in the world of football. Man, I was really hoping the Steelers would lose. But what a game that was. The Patriots do not look like the normal Patriots. Just, I think they beat themselves, to be honest with you. Credit to the Steelers. But there were so many offensive penalties. It was crazy. Football, games, and beer. I mean, that sounds like a good weekend. I'm just saying, Alan. So, stocks that I'm watching this week. DNAX, LTSN, and FTEG. Might be familiar to some folks. It's no INKW, and it's really just because I don't want to continue to exhaust you with INKW. If you would like me to go over it, I certainly can. But not much happened this week. I went over it on Follow Up Friday. We're just it's kind of a waiting game at this point. So I'm not going to go ahead and put it on my Stock Watch Sunday tonight. But rest assured, it's still very much on my radar. I'm still holding it. And it's my IRA, if you will. I see a lot of good long-term potential with INKW, and I'm willing to wait it out. So, yeah, Alan here, if you are following along for the first time, Alan actually, the first time the FTEG ran, experienced a 1,000% gain on FTEG, his first one. So that's the power of our community. If you're not familiar with what it is that we do, so and he's been killing it within the mentorships and taking my course and everything, and he's kind of one of my success stories. So it's been awesome to see him develop and grow as a trader. So, but FTEG's back on my radar. And I'll go ahead and explain to you why that is. So let's go ahead and get started. I think enough folks have joined in, and we'll get this rolling. So first one, DNAX. Now this had a monster run at the beginning of last week, and it's trailed off since then. But for me personally, I think that the selling here has been pretty insane. You can see here, again, if you're not familiar with me, it's just your first time visiting my channel and looking at WeTradeHQ, here it is. It's WeTradeHQ.com. I do all of my technical analysis here. You can communicate with like-minded individuals right here off to the side. You can type in messages, what have you. There's all kinds of other awesome tools here. My partner Jake has done the very clever background here. It's snowing on WeTradeHQ.com, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, DNAX. Looking at the RSI, it's cooled off quite significantly. It's really starting to approach an oversold situation here, in my opinion. A couple things I like about DNAX. So, full disclosure, entered into this way too high. I expected it to go much higher than it did. I've averaged in at this point around 10 cents. So, yes, I am very much red. Actually, 40% red. I'm not going to go crazy and rip my hair out on this. I'm just going to be willing to be patient with it. Such is life in the OTC. Everything down here is extremely volatile. It's a double-edged sword. That's why I love it. That's why a lot of people hate it. But willing to be patient with DNAX, and here's why. So I'm going to look here. The most recent news that came out on the 14th. No, wasn't the 14th. The 11th. My bad. And what came out on the 11th was that DNA Brands was acquiring alkalized superwater, otherwise known as Beta for You Brands, which I think is quite hilarious, if you ask me. But aside from all that, the CEO is Bernard Rubin, who's the founder and is now the president. See if I can find where that says it. Yeah. In charge of all beverage-related matters for DNAX now. So he's appointed to the board of DNA Brands, will serve as the brand's president in charge of all beverage-related matters. Now, who cares? You know, you're probably saying that. Why does this matter? This Bernard Rubin guy, who is he? I mean, big freaking deal. First of all, the acquisition was huge in and of itself. Yes, it ran after this acquisition, and it's already, you know, whittled its way down. But I'm looking at this from a long-term perspective. If you guys know me at all, you know that I am a long-term swing trader. I don't typically day trade anything. I don't get in and out. I look for these long-term plays because I see more value in long-term plays for me personally. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean it has to follow along with your strategy. You might hate the strategy. That's okay. I'm just telling you how I find success. So, looked up Bernard Rubin, checked out what Bernard Rubin is involved with, and NBEV is one that he was the CEO of, and he's taking this to $7. He's even had high of $10. This is a NASDAQ stock, guys. So I see value in this because I don't think that this is the end of the story for DNAX. I think that there's much more here to come, and I'm willing to wait it out to see what happens. I like the fact that it appears as if they're done diluting. It looked on level 2 this week that CFGN, which was a dilutive market maker, pulled off quite significantly. As you can see, share structure is very small, which is why it's so volatile and why I'm not worried about it as well. There really wasn't that much selling volume to get it to where it's at. So I think that if you're looking at this and you see value, I think that this range is still a very good range. I would wait to see what happens this week. There could be some more selling. I don't know. You know, we can't predict the market, obviously. But the value I find with DNAX is significant because I think with Rubin being, with Rubin being, you know, appointed to the board and president in charge of all beverage-related matters with DNAX, there's got to be some NASDAQ money that's probably going to be coming in here. That's just my opinion, but we'll see. Like I said, this is how I work. This is how I function. This is how I find my strategies, how I see certain value in specific stock like this. If any kind of significant catalyst comes out of DNAX as a result of Bernard Rubin being appointed to the position he's in, with the share structure being the way it is, it's really not going to take that much to really set this thing off. And if we look at the history, it was not that long ago that it was sitting at 30 cents. You know, so if you can get down at these levels and it hops back up to 30 cents off of some minor catalyst, obviously that would be a significant trade if anybody got in at these levels. So take a look at it. DNAX, I'm still watching it this week. We'll see where it goes. I think the volatility is still very much there. We'll see if it has a bounce back after this sell-off this week. Next one is LTSN. LTSN, let me check in with you guys here real quick. Looks like everybody else is good. So if you guys have any questions, by the way, feel free to ask. If you have any tickers you want me to take a look at towards the end of this video, feel free to shout them out as well. Make sure you give me something, though. Don't just like say thoughts on insert ticker here. Give me something to go off of so I'm not just fumbling around. So next one is LTSN. Guys, you know this one's been on my radar for several weeks now. And I've initially shouted this out, gotten in around 21. And, based off of unusual volume, there's really not much else that I can tell you other than the share structure looks pretty sweet. This float's probably outdated, but the way that it's trading, I have reason to believe that it's probably pretty close to this number. I don't know exactly what the number could be. You could do the calculation. I think it's probably around 120 million. Looks like thereabouts. And so that's still a pretty small float. Put that in perspective. If you guys have been following me and looking at INKW, they have a 109 million float, and we've already seen how that thing moves. So not sure why, but this week in particular, there was some pretty significant volume that was coming in. And, those of us who've been in this and has been patient enough, sitting into the 0020 range, are probably pretty happy considering that it closed at 0042 on Friday. We'll see how next week plays out. There's got to be some kind of reason that there's all kinds of loading going on here for LTSN. We'll see what happens, but certainly exciting to experience that 100% gain, especially for those of you who are just starting out within our group. Last one, FTEG. So FTEG, what a wild and crazy ride FTEG has been. So way back here in October, was trading at 0008 when Alan first was talking about this FTEG, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Alan, but I think it was also spotted within KSM, which is the other mentorship within WeTrade HQ. If you guys don't know who he is Kiko, and he's just a fantastic mentor. Love him to death. Glad to have him on the group. We butt heads a lot of times when it comes to certain tickers. But at the end of the day, we're both very successful at what we do. We just have different strategies, and I think that's what's great. So, this was played originally on filings. They dropped a ton of filings, and I should have known this. They literally dropped a ton. It went all the way from, triple zeros to over a penny, and then it started to whittle itself back down. This is kind of what happens. People get bored, they sell it. People that have been holding, like Alan had. Been holding, had experienced 1,000% gains, probably were like, what, I'm happy with this. Nothing else is coming after these filings. People get impatient. That kind of stuff happens. So that's what happened. So after that, just this week, if you can look up FTEG, news came out, and I actually had it pulled up on Yahoo Finance. News came out that they had an LOI. They're looking to get into the CBD industry sector. And so, obviously, with everything that's been going on with the Farm Bill passing, basically Trump just has to sign it this week. It's on his desk, ready to go. Have reason that, there's no reason to believe that he's not going to sign it. And so, if you guys know me, you've been following me for a while, you know how I feel about letters of intent. I think that they're absolute trash. They're worthless. There's no point in having a letter of intent. Or at least there's no point to buy anything. It wouldn't motivate me to buy something based off of strictly a letter of intent. But they are a necessary evil from a legal perspective. If you're going to acquire a company, usually they have some sort of letter of intent. A lot of companies publicize this to encourage and motivate buying. I'm not saying that you should be buying this because of that letter of intent. What I'm saying is that we've already seen the kind of run it's had based off of its filings. And so the letter of intent is, I think, in my opinion, is probably a step in the right direction for where they are headed. If they put all the thing is that you got to understand, companies put these filings out and they spend a lot of money to do so. So they're not going to do that typically they're not going to do that in vain, right? So they're not going to do all this work, spend all this money to get a company current and just to come out with a letter of intent. Stranger things have happened, guys. You come out with a letter of intent and you never hear from them again. But such is life in the OTC. But so this is why this is just a watch. It's not necessarily a buy. I actually did not get into this yet because of just the LOI. But I think based off the volume that's coming in here and the way that it moved previously just off of those filings, if there is a significant catalyst that comes through, if this acquisition actually goes through, it could mean that it's a big deal for FTEG. I'm not saying that it's going to go crazy, but it may, especially the way that it moved just off of filings previously. I'm just looking at historical patterns here, looking at the history when the filings started to come out. It had a crazy run. So the question that I'm asking myself is, what's keeping it from doing that again, especially when it comes out with solid, legitimate catalysts now that they got themselves current? This is one of those companies that appears to have done everything the right way, as opposed to something like KLY that we saw got the caveat emptor earlier this week. They came out with PR after PR after PR, and they were not current, so then they got slapped with a caveat emptor. FTEG actually did this the right way, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from here. Should be interesting to watch. If I don't make a play, I'll still be watching this very closely. If you guys are in this one, I think that you might be in some good shape, especially got in around in the 17-18 range. So there you have it. Those are the three that I'm watching this week. And yeah, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, if this is your first time on this show, on this channel, come check us out. We're WeTradeHQ.com. We have a Discord group where you can ask all kinds of questions. If you're a complete noob or if you've been trading for 20, 30 years, we have a conglomerate of everyone within our group. It's not just for new people. It's not just for veterans. The best part about what we do and the culture that I've built is that it's everybody. And everybody is willing to help everybody, and everybody loves to see each other win. It's not just a, hey, look at me, look at what I've done. It's, hey, look at what we've done together. And that's what I love about WeTradeHQ and the culture that we've built. So, yeah, I'm not sure, Justin. That's a good question. So I'm surprised it didn't run as hard as it did too. I don't know if maybe there was a lot of bags on FTEG. We'll kind of see how the rest of the week plays out. Like I said, letters of intent. A lot of people get excited on letters of intent, but typically letters of intent for the experienced trader, that doesn't mean anything. They're about as useful as toilet paper. Like, I mean, I could write a letter of intent saying that I'm going to go acquire Walmart, or whatever. And, that's as far as it goes. It's just a legal way to say I'm planning on acquiring this, but I have no, reason to give you as to whether or not this actually might play out. And I think that's what a lot of people get hung up on. Those letters of intent, they're worthless, in my opinion. Just past experiences, letters of intent don't motivate real buying when it comes to the stock. Actionable catalysts, such as the actual acquisition of that company, would probably motivate buying. But a letter of intent, it's only going to take you so far. So that's just my opinion on that. If a stock has diluted for a long time, does it need a catalyst as well as a reverse split to move, or is there more to it? So it depends. If a stock has been diluted for a long time, obviously that share structure is going to be large, so it's going to take a lot more buying power to move something like that. And it also would depend on how significant that catalyst is. If they want it to move easier, obviously a reverse split would probably be necessary. There's other ways to shrink down a share structure, but that's one way to do it. But there's a lot that depends on what exactly is going on with that stock, their share structure, how much debt do they have, what's the catalyst actually entail. So there's a lot of variables. It's a very open-ended question. There's just the short answer is that it depends. Unfortunately, I hate saying that it depends all the time, but it is what it is. Yeah, Chicago Kenny LOI is useful as a live tweet, that's for sure. RSAU, yeah, it really went crazy this week. Had a healthy pullback. I think there's some potential there. We'll just kind of see how that goes. But that's definitely another one to look out for, RSAU. See how it continues to play out. So yeah, exactly, Justin. So actions talk more than words, for sure, especially down here in the OTC. If you guys have been playing in the OTC for longer than 5 minutes, you know that you have to keep your eyes peeled for scams and all that kind of stuff, and keep on the lookout for legitimate companies, and make sure that they have all their ducks lined in a row. And that's why I like companies like DNAX or FTEG that actually do what they're supposed to instead of just throwing out BS to get people to buy and to get them to believe that something's actually happening even when it's really not. So it's important to know what has legitimacy to it and what doesn't. So if you have, again, if this all seems like a foreign language to you, please just come check us out. So WeTradeHQ.com. The link's in the description below. It's free to join. We have all kinds of awesome tools. The community is great, and people are constantly learning every single day of the week. It's been awesome. We have mentors that you can certainly subscribe to if you would like. They are paid mentors, but you're not under any obligation to buy that. We don't force any of that upon you. It's just there if you feel like you need it. So check it out. It's WeTradeHQ.com. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you like this video, please smash that thumbs up. And if you're visiting for the first time, of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified every time I go live or put up some awesome content. And as always, guys, I will see you all before the bell. And B Smith is out. Have a good night.